Okay, I've started the recording now. Navya. So now we are starting with the basic structure of this like Maven project. We have nothing in here. Some IntelliJ IDEA settings, blank folders for the like Maven, Java, and resources is also blank. Test is also blank. Form.xml, the native one, which contains the default configuration when we create Maven project. So I'm going to add first of all new dependencies into this place, and for that I need to add a dependency tag. And now I am pressing my dependencies in here that you can find very well on mvnrepository.com, right? So
Yeah.
let me tell you about these repositories first of all. Uh, First dependency is the org.stng. Java has a like a facility for JUnit, but we are trying to learn more about the TestNG. It stands for Testing New Generation Framework, and we are using the 7.4.0 version of it. We have to consider the version whenever like we are changing different libraries which works together. So it is very good idea to understand like how the like version should work with the other ones. So this is a test ng and the commons I have input output files that the functionality that I need in my project. Second dependency is like JSON. So Google JSONs I'm going to use, and we'll see in the coming sessions like how to consume the JSONs and write our own types also. We have the Selenium HQ API driver and the Selenium Chrome driver as well. Not for today's session, but yeah, we did add it. So we'll use it in the subsequent sessions. Finally, we have one more dependencies which you can find in mvnrepository.com with the artifact ID of org.apache.com.
Okay.
Okay, now in this case, what is happening? Orgs.apache.com Commons email is helping us to like send emails to like clients. Whenever we want to send something, we can use common emails, and we can find it on mvnrepository.com that we have seen in the previous sessions. So you can please control shift or O, or rightly you can go directly to this place and you can hit this. So repositories, whatever jars we will need, will get automatically downloaded and will be added to the external libraries. Here you can find everything which dependencies you have added, right? So let's end it up, and I'm going to start with first on the Java. I'm going to write a package in here, and I'm going to call it as com.tests. Would be a better idea, or you can even write test or automation, whatever you want to say upon, you can write the things over here. So for now I'm trying to use, for example, I'm looking for like my website, so com dot whatever it is, example dot test. Okay, that is all what I need to go for. So this is something that I need to like start with, and into this place I was just want to add a new Java class. This is a simple test class that we have seen earlier, so I'm going to call it as simple test. Class name should start with big like S. Okay, so now as we have taken already so much sessions, so we'll not we will surely consider like writing the everything like documentations and comments for everything. So I'm calling as this is simple class for this. And now after this, I'm going to write a test for this. And to use this, I'll write a test. And you can see like there are varieties of tests into this place, but we'll use org.testng.annotations. So now you can see like we have got a package import in this, and we are now using org.testng.annotations.star. And so there are so many scenarios where I have used annotations.star, but in a good practice, when we code for like automation framework for the big companies, it is not a good idea to write star. You should be writing directly what packages you need, so it would be pretty easy to understand what is happening, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
let's come to the test and let's write first sets. So I'm going to write as a simple test one, and here I think I'm mistaking something.
Public class.
Pardon? Okay.
No, public
Yeah.
class.
So I did a mistake somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. So let's write simple as out over here, like running uh, simple test1 method. Okay, so this is a method. So you can alternatively call it as your test. Okay, so you are going to write a test script for this. So this is something that I need to go for, and just for a hypothetical check, I'm going to use assert equals, and I'm going to use 1 and 1. And if it goes well, everything will be okay. So let's duplicate these things out there. So this is number 1, number 2, and number 3, and number 4. So we'll have 4 test cases. Let's take it one more, 5. So let's make some changes now. So it's 2, it's 3, it's 4, and finally it's 5. And inside also I'm going to write the 5, 4, 3, 2. All well. So now this class which contains so many tests into this. Okay, so now before like working up with this, what we have earlier noticed that whenever we tend to write the XML files, right? So I'm giving a look on the XML file. So this was the XML file. Whenever we used to write this, we needed these two definitions, right? So these doc types and things will help us in identifying that this is a test.ng XML file that you can create using like run configurations also, or you can directly click on this, right, and go to the new file and write your suite name as that simple, or let's say like my first suite dot xml. So I'm going to paste this thing, and now you can see like we are following the documentation type definition. DTD stands for document type definition, which help us understanding what type of document this is. And whatever we are going to write is like this XML. So we are trying to use a XML of 1.0 version, and we are using the text encoding of universal transformation format of 8 standard. So all well. Now, whenever you say less than signature, you can see like what possible things that you can write into this is a suit. You can write the name of the suit, and finally after this you can end it up. So let's call this suit name as my first suit. Okay, so no issues with this, and let's come back into inside this, and then you can write some other things out there. So following the old structure that we did, we have to write the names also. So what we can do, we'll write the names with the test, but let's call this test name as my first suit tests, and I'm going to end it up, and you can see now we can add the classes into this. You can add as many classes as you want. So for now we have only one class which is present in uh, com dot I think I did forget that example dot tests dot, and then we got simple test. So now we have everything into this, and now I can run my test suite for this. So I'll right click the suite and I'll run it from this place. So this is the first time we are running our like test, and we have only one class which is there, this simple test one. It contains 5 test cases, and we ran this class with the help of our test.ng suite. And as we can see, everything is passed. First, second, third, fourth, and fifth is passed. Okay, so I'm not going to like cover the whole recap, but sure, I have taken care about say enabled equals to false or true, which help us to like skip some test cases, and we don't want it to run, so we
Yes.
did not write on it. The other thing which I have like told you about is like you can write the test names for this, so you can write a simple test too, and you can even write the description for this also. So let's say description of simple test case too. I've also told you about like writing so many other things out there. Like we can use data providers, or we can even use groups. So let's call this thing as group. So I just want to use a group into this. Let's suppose you want to put this into the first group. Or if you have multiple groups, you can even do it like that way. That this is a first group and this is a second group, right? So we can write even the groups into this. If at any point of time you want this thing like a simple test 3 to run, like depends on, if it like depends on something on some other methods, you can write on this over here also. So what does this means? Depends on methods. It means that if you want to run the simple test first, you want to run the other test before running the this test case. So depends on method will help this test case to run the first other method, whatever you are specifying. Let's suppose you want to specify this one. So it does mean like it will help you to run first this test, and then after this test will get run. You can write as
Yeah.
much as many as you can, right?
Okay. But how are you going to use these groups first and second?
Pardon?
Like how are we using these groups? You have mentioned groups
Yeah,
equals to
we'll
first
come to know
comma
about it.
second.
So
Okay.
let's talk about like writing. We got first group, and we even got this method. So if I'll run a right click on a simple test case three, now it is going to get that. But still you can see like we have two cases running. Instead, we only try to run the simple test case three. But we mentioned here that we want simple test case four to run first, then only a simple test case three can run. So it is a good idea that we can use like this. Second is like we did everything about my first test, the exam. You just asked me about groups. So I'll just like noting it and I'll let you know about it in a coming, just to just few things out there. So let's suppose
Okay.
like we had a test and we had a simple test over here. Now I want to create a new one more class that is known as complex test. Okay. So now we have two like class files, and now what I want to do is like I just copy everything which is into this place, or let's copy this one. And complex test first is like going like this way. Complex test, and now we have a simple test. So we'll write complex test and we write it as 6 over here. And over here we also write 6. So if he's running this a complex test, let's suppose we have a printing for something. So I'll write for int I equals to 0, I less than, let's suppose we need to print 10 things in this. And now I want to say I plus plus. Okay. And for this, I want to write something into my like console for now because it's all hypothetical. We don't use like out println in our test cases, but still we want to learn about test ng, so that's why we are using it. And before to this, I just want thread to sleep for a particular time. So I'll just using a thread dot sleep for 1000, which stands for 1 millisecond, 1 second. 1000 milliseconds stands for 1 second. Let's press Alt and Enter on the sleep, and you'll see that exception has come up. So I'll try to add this exception on my method so that we can use this. So if anything like produces error, the interrupted exception will be thrown to the main test ng class. So now I'm writing over here, running complex test 6, and then I want to print the I into this. All thing well. So let's copy this and write few more. So this is 7 and 7 over here again. 8 and finally we have 2 more. So this is 1, this is 2. This is 10 and this is 10. This is 10. 9, 9 and 9. So this is 9, this is 8. So we have total 10 test cases in our hand right now that we can run upon. So now let's suppose a scenario when you want everything to happen with a, there are different suits surely, and there are so many things other out there also. So first of all, what I'm trying to do is I'll go to the Java, main Java, not in this test. I'll go to the main and then say Java, and I'm gonna right click this and say new, and I'm going to create a package over here. I'm gonna say it as like code. Oh, sorry. Like we'll do into this place. So form dot example dot test. You write a new feature over here. I'm gonna call it as or let's add into the same place. I'm gonna call it as Java class, and going to call it as test base, example test base. Okay. So we have again a new class over here. So in this place, what I'm trying to use it is before suit. Okay. So public void before suit. All well. Then I'll write at the rate after soup, public void after soup. Even use at the rate uh, before, I think class should be before test. Okay. So before test, I just want to write over here public void before test. And finally we'll have after. All things well. So now to make this thing more meaningful, what I'm trying to do is in my Java, in the code, or maybe we can use like a new package over here, good to go with the utils, okay? Or we'll call it as our driver or whatever you want. So let's suppose we'll take it as my config. Okay, config would be a good idea. So I'll say right click and then I'm gonna add a new class and I'm gonna call it as like uh, my like common function class, common name classes. Let's again call it as common names. So in this class, I'm now using a public static string and I'm going to call it as my driver. Okay, so I'll try to use this when, like in the test space over here, I'm going to call it as common names dot driver equals to Chrome driver for now. We are not inducing any Selenium, so we are trying to use this. And after suit, when things happen, and I'll just say over here sound tests running with Chrome driver. Okay, would be making a sense. So now when the suit ends, just I want common names dot driver should get to null. So I want to quit the driver. But right now I can only write this. So I'll just say right now driver is, and I'll just say common names dot driver. Makes sense. So now you can see like whenever you want to run the testing command, now you can surely going to write that. Okay, so before this all structure, what I try to say one more thing to you is if there are instances when we don't have this much, I say Control Alt Shift L to streamline the code, to right align the codes. Right now, let's not use this and let's write something out over here before soup is done. Then I'll write after soup is done. Okay, so we have everything into this, and now if I go back to my test.ng class or somewhere into this, I'll just go to check, copy this, and I'm gonna go back to my first test.ng suit.xml. And here you can see like we got this test. I'm going to write another class into this. So I'll just say com dot example dot test dot, let's call it as complex test, or let's remove this. I'm going to call it as that test base. Okay. So now we have two classes. Just for your understanding, I am trying to make this thing on the top. And if I still try to run this XML suite from this place, now you can see there is no proper observations on like before or after switch. These things can't be like lookable. You won't be able to identify like if the before suit is running or not. But still now you can check
Okay.
like we got a before suit is running and the after suit is also running as well. Even the good things, if you want to consider more things into this, so what you can do, if there are more common things are like available in your config names or common like your test based classes, as you can see there is nothing into this. So if you want to take a more precise look into this, you can come back to this place and call these things to be extended with your test base. So test base will contain all other like like common functions to add. Let's suppose you wanted to have some functions like public and add. Okay, so this function is common to simple class and complex class also. So you wanted to have int x and int y. Okay, and you wanted to return something which is x plus y. Okay, so now you are trying to use this like function which you wanted for a test, which is public void simple test 1 1, and here you wanted to say like int expected equals to 20 and int actual equals to add, and you wanted to add the 10 plus 10. So now you're expecting this, and with the help of this, you wanted to assert the expected, right? Makes sense. It will run for sure. But what happens like if you want similar functionality that you have in a simple test class, you want it to run for the complex test also. Okay, so now it is running and we can see like we have got assert equal is passed. Let's suppose we also need the same functionality in other classes also. So we have a complex test, and in this place you also want to create a similar test, a complex test 11 level. Now we don't have this. Okay, so we don't have this for now. So he's actually giving us an error because it is not present in this class. So it is time to give the error for this. So what we can do, we can come back to the simple test and use our functional like requirements. I'll cut down from this thing and I'll go back to my test base. And in here, I'm going to write that case, public int app, right? So now it is going to give us back what we wanted. Now in this case, it is also showing only one problem because simple test is already extending with the test case. So now it is readily available in that simple test case level. But when it comes to like complex tests, it is not available. So what we can do, we can extend this class with the test case. Now everything is fine. And now you can see like everything is fixed. If these two classes are extending and in here, if I just remove the simple test based class from here and try to go for a check with this, everything runs as expected. Now you can see like we have everything running after suit and everything like you can see over here. All test cases are running. So this is the way through which we have implemented our test base, and now the test base contains like what functionality we have as well as other suits before suits or after suits or whatever you wanted to write upon in these would be readily available. Now in the same concern that thing which we have like commented for now, let's uncomment this and just for master. Okay, so now we have something which is in common for our driver. So to like make things assured for this, what we'll do, we'll write over here like south this test is running on, and then we wanted to say common names dot driver. Help us to like make sure like if the initialized driver is available everywhere or not. So I'll just copy everything into all methods. Okay, make sense, Navya?
Yeah.
So now we have so many test cases which are using the Chrome driver because maybe like we have used them. So now if I'll try to write the my common edit. So it will take a little time. So I'll use it over here also. I will only run the simple test. And run this one also. So we are going to run the simple tests using my first suit, and in here we have a simple test. So let's run this and check like if help us to find the Chrome driver or not. So now you can see like tests are running with the Chrome driver, everywhere. That brings us to a main important thing. Like if we wanted to initiate some drivers or something like that way, we can have surely like over here like public static web driver from the color like sign thing like this, and we can say web driver. Then we can instantiate this driver in our test base in this place. So now we can say like web driver, sorry, common name dot web driver equals to web driver, and then you can go with the things out. So let's forget about this thing now because we have come up with a conclusion like it runs very well. And in the current sessions, we are not including the Selenium, so we'll see it very soon. But now, let's suppose like you wanted to run the simple test and complex test, and you made this thing happen in your this my first suit is actually running the simple test. Maybe other tests also there, but right now let's take like there are too many classes into this which you try to run upon using a simple test. Let's copy this like my suit.xml, and I'm going to paste it up over here again. Let's call it as my second suit. Okay. So now in the second suit and this is the first suit. So first suit is here and the second suit which is right now is here. So I'm going to call it as my second suit.
Okay, so we can use as many as XMLs as we want
I'm not
in the
able to hear
project.
you.
No, I'm asking like can we use as many XMLs .xml files as we want. So you
Yeah,
have mentioned my first XML
yeah,
and
there can
second
be as
super
many
XML.
XML as you want. And if you want to like
Okay.
run the test case, you can use any XML you want. So you can see like over here, we have a first suit. We already ran this class. It contains all simple tests. But in the second suit, we have a complex test. So let's try to run with the second suit.xml and see like if it works or not. So there are too many cases into this. So now it is running the
Okay.
complex.
What is the point in creating two XML files?
Yeah, we created two XMLs, but this one is only running the complex test only.
Okay, if my first suit.xml can't we mention complex
That are not running.
class?
Your
Huh?
question I didn't understand, Navya.
Like why are we using two .xml files?
There are scenarios, Navya, when you only wanted
Okay.
to differentiate between two different tests. On this first suit, you wanted to say like your all staging APIs or all lead APIs or like lead web application module is going to be get checked. They wanted to have a separate suit for that to check, to just go for a check. Okay. When it comes to other modules, you can like separate the things out there also. For different user stories, you can also like check out like you can have a different suit upon. So you can make the things go modular also with this. So let's suppose in our website that we are going to check, there can be a different module. So module one, which stands for a auth module. Then we had a module two for billing, and then we had a module for let's say personal info, your profile. So we had three modules in our project. So if you wrote the auth things out there, they can be users. You can say there can be so many tasks, so many test cases in this. Okay, so test cases can have many class files. Okay, like that way we had one class over here. You can have as much as you want if it is connecting with some suit or a test name, which is an authorization one. So billing also have some other test cases also, as well as profile also. Okay, so this help you to check for a unit testing in this. Like if you wanted to go with this much only, you're only trying to run whatever test cases only related to auth functionality. Okay, so in that concern, you can help this like functionality can help us in understanding. Like if you want to have a like all things which is there in one suite and you want to put all together all authentication test classes into one module, you can create a separate test ng class for that. Okay, if you are working on a small project, you can do whatever you want. If it is a big project and you want to ascertain like every suite is a different module based or a unit based, because when we talk about unit testing is like testing a single project. Okay, but a project can have so many things out there. So if I like tell you about this auth, it does mean that this is one. It is a one identity, and this one is again a new identity, and the third one is a new identity. This. Let's talk about if you want to mix profile and billing and auth also. And now you wanted to write test cases which contains and which are using auth, billing, and profile as well. So for that, you wanted to go for some other type of like writing the things out that is known as integration testing. So integration testing, you are surely doing some that kind of like test cases wherein you will write such test cases which use auth also, billing also, in the profile as well. Okay. So different modules in this. So in this concern, what we can do, we can write as many test suites as possible. If you are using first suite, it does mean it stands for some unit test, or this also belongs to some unit test. And now if you want to like run the third one, you can write again with a new like name of the suite. There's one more scenario when you wanted all suits which is there. As you can see over here, we have a simple test running through my first suit. And we had a second suit my .xml which runs only complex suits. Okay. So let's take about one more thing into this place, and I'm gonna call it as a again new file, my all suits.xml. Okay. So here I'll just copy this to our top two lines, and I'll come back to this place. And here I just wanted to write some suit names over here. Okay. So let me copy this for a easy go. So it would be pretty easy for us. Simple two lines are there. We only need to write the suit files. Okay. So this is something that we need to go for. So suit and the suit files. So first suit is or is like this is not testng.xml. The first suit is like my first suit.xml, and the second one is my second suit.xml. So with the help of this testng XML file, you want to fire together my first suit as well as my second suit also. Make sense? Because you can't run like this, no?
Yeah.
Every time you're doing this and like this, so it would
Yeah.
be like difficult for us to like work upon. So you can conclude with another suit file .stng.xml, and you can write all your suit files path into this place. So now this contains both of the things out there together. So if rather than like right clicking my first suit or second suit, you can write my all suits from this path. If I right click this and I run it, we should be expecting that both of the like testng XML file should run. Reason. Okay, somewhere I made a mistake. Give me a chance for this. Second suit, my all suits. So now you can see like my first suit has run successfully, and now the chance is further my second suit, and it is now running. So my first suit and my second suit runs at a single go with the help of this my all suits XML file. So this brings us to a conclusion today we have seen uh, first is like writing test based classes. Generalized code. Also added after of tests. Okay. Second thing, we wrote different stng.xml files, and then we created one single stng.xml file and ran all other child stng XML files. So now this brings us to your activity event up here. So let's stay over here. Today is 18th of June. And this is something that you need to like go upon and check like if you can do it. Would be a good idea. So This can be an
2021, right?
yeah.
2021 only, right?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
No, never mind. I'm thought like we are not in any different times.
You know, like
Okay.
declaration of variables in developer minds, everything goes like that way. It happens. So like we had 18 in like June 2021, and now we have three figures in our hand, and we'll do it. So let's come back to Maven Test NG project. And first suit is like working fine. Second suit is also fine. Yeah. Next question is like regarding like my question is like we want to run our test cases parallelly. Okay. Parallelly means at the same time we want to hit the test cases. Okay, so this makes for us like like saving the time, and like if you can run at a time two test cases or three test cases would be a good idea, because like it will save
Mm.
the time like in running your test execution report, and soon you will get everything into that. So now what you can do is like we'll come back to this place. Rather than this first suit, I'll just close this. I'll come back to the second suit where complex suits are written, and here we have complex suits, and they are taking a lot time into this. So let's come back to the my second suit as well. And in this place, in the suit level, we can say parallel. And parallel in here, you can see there are too many things out there. Parallel in terms of test, in terms of classes, in terms of methods. Don't run parallel. Parallel in terms of instances you are running, none or true. If you say parallel equals true, it will run as classes. This is a default mode. So let's try and use that method.
Okay.
So I'm going to use a methods. So here this method stands for that in my complex test, these two methods will run parallel. Okay. Let's check if it's
Okay.
like working the same as we are expecting. I'm going to close everything, and my second is running with the parallel methods. So let's run right click and say run XML. And now let's check. Yeah, it is running parallelly, and you can see like too many things are coming together. At the top,
Yeah.
you can find like 10, 8, 6, 10, 8, 6. With the help of three threads, they are running again and again and again. Okay. So rather
Okay.
than if we don't do that, if I didn't make this like parallel, if I set it to false, and if I run it now, you can see you can like verify that this suit will take a long time in execution. So first of all, the Chrome driver started, now the 8, 10 is running. So after the 10 will end, then the 9 will come, or 8 will come, or 7 will come. Okay. So
Mm.
this complex test is running like sequentially now. But you want two methods to be
Yes.
run like subsequently in a parallel mode, you can use parallel things. So at this point of time, we already had like finished the test execution when we were running parallelly. So let's close this, stop this thing now, and come back to this place. And now we have seen that we can, if we can run parallelly, the suits will run parallelly. If you say classes, it does mean like there are too many classes, and this class here is like complex test. And if I'll add one more class into this place, let's suppose we wanted to add a simple test over here. So now the instances will happen not for the methods. So methods will not run parallel. Rather than that, simple test and complex test will run parallel. Let's take and take a look on the classes. Maybe it is a class. Complex test is also running, and simple test is also running. Okay, now simple tests are complete, but complex like tests are still running. So which makes us to a sense like both test classes run subsequently together. So it does makes a sense and brings to us a point like simple test fired and the complex test fired on different threads. But what happened previously when we wrote only methods, it does mean in some single like class methods were running parallel. So this is the method or this method or whatever the methods they are, they were running parallel. If we wrote like classes over here, That does mean like class to parallel. Same thing happens for the suit level as well. So now you can say like the class is method and test level also. So suit it does from test. So now the test says like this is a test and you wanted to run all the tests together. Okay. So basically with the help of these methods, when you are doing this task, you can also allow thread counts also. So how many threads you want to allocate? Let's say suppose 5 or 10 or 20 threads you want to allocate in like successful working for this suit. Okay, so that you can also write. So for the sake of simplicity, I'm just using thread 10 and I now want to run this and I'll run my second suits. So now we have too many threads together and everything is working on the same pace.
So here complex and simple test run 10 times. Right?
Pardon?
So here complex test and simple test run 10 times.
Yeah, exactly. It will not run 10 times. The thread count that we are allocating is 10. Okay. The thread count stands for the threads we wanted to give to this suit to run it because we are on the parallel mode. Okay. So whenever the thing happen in parallel now, the thread will like have a count of a 10. So you can see over here, we have given the 10 to this place. Okay.
So I see 6 complete test right here.
I mean,
No,
write these two things also
20.
parallel. Thread count.
No, I'm just asking like parallel method. So these methods will not run 10. Suppose we are launching
So
a browser
10 times they will
in
not
that
run. The
method.
threads that we have allocated to the suit is 10. Okay.
I'm not getting
Every
it
task
now.
runs on thread. I told you yesterday about one more thing, which was known as main function. Okay. So into that main function, when it runs, a thread is allocated from CPU. Okay. So our machine allocate one thread to this. Okay. And when it get ends, the soon the thread will expire and return back to our machine. So if you want to give like 5 threads to this, it does mean in this you can also create the child threads also. Okay. So how many child threads you are creating? So let's suppose you create 10 threads and you want to use these threads for 10 tasks. Okay. So would be a good idea rather than working on like main thread only. Okay. So this is the way that it has like come up with the thread count.
Sorry, I'm not clear somehow. Maybe I'm not understanding what it is exactly because it is not visible to me. Maybe.
Okay. No problems. You understood about parallel?
Yeah, like we can run 2 methods at a time, or whatever the methods all are existing in the project, they run parallelly. Like yeah, and at the
Let's
same time.
suppose there is a function in our like in our home and we had lot of works. We had like 100 works in our function. And for like 100 works, we hired 10 laborers to complete this task.
Mm.
Or we only had like one labor or two labor into this class. So he can do two, like with the help of two, like how much time it will take to complete. So let's suppose the thread count was
Five,
two,
five.
thread count was two, and they had to work for the 100 works in our function. If the thread count was 10,
Mm.
so they will take another like every like labor is doing for the 10 jobs 10 works together, so would be a good idea to like complete the task in a easy manner. But like
Mm.
there is a limitations also, and in my experience 5 is more than enough in our systems, because else it will like like make the system go until it is not a damn great. So 5 thread count is more than enough. So like for 100 works together, let's say for 100 test cases together in here, if you want to like hire.
Okay, so you're doing 5 thread count, then or 10 thread counts. It is dividing The
Exactly.
actual 100
Yeah,
by 5
internally
or
helping
20.
us.
Okay.
Exactly, exactly. Make sense?
Yeah. So it is basically saving time
Mhm. Sometimes
while
like there are
running
too many tasks on
parallelly.
a clock because you see like we have complex tests or simple tests running. When the parallel method is running, it was running on the main thread naturally and already allocates the default threads. Okay. So you could see like three like threads are already allocated to it. So thread count if we have given, it does mean like we can check the thread count over here. It's a good idea. And help us in like identifying thread count in test engine. Maximum threads to be created. So this attribute is used to pass the number of maximum threads to be created, not more than that. Okay. So you can see this chart also now. Like would be pretty easy for us to understand. So test running, test ng XML is running. So test case 2 with thread ID 10, test case 1 with thread ID 9. Or this is the threads which are internally helping the test cases to like run. So if any thread is set to free, it will run the another test case.
Okay.
Make sense now?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's come to testng.org also. So I'll just type to testng.org. This is a like home for testng, and now you can find so many documentations and things into this place also. So as a whole, for your any like time when you are going to develop something, this is just the basics that you can cover up. Okay, you even have a documentation for this. You can download this thing as well from here. The complete structure or definition is already provided at here. So you can follow this also and you can, it's not required, I believe, like to make the notes for it. Suppose you have learned about data provider, but you wanted to write a theory for it or like speak the theory for it. So you'll get it from here.
Mm, okay.
We didn't follow that. Yeah, we are now on groups. Okay. So let's come back to this. Let's come back to simple test. And into simple test or Java, we have, let's suppose we don't have anything disabled or something like that, and we wanted to put a group into this. So this is my group. It can be anyhow, but for better like readability, I'm using it in capitals. This is my group, and this is like groups equals to my group. And in here, I'm gonna say not my group. Okay, let's copy this and come down and ask it. Now I wrote everything in a groups. What the group help us? Let's suppose not my group. It stands for like a kind of some like flaky or auth test case or like old test case or whatever you want to skip upon or like use it. So now come back to we already have designed decorated every test case with the groups now. Not my group, not my group, not my group, and we only are having two like my groups. Okay, so I'll copy this and I'll come back to my first suit.xml where we have written the simple test. So let it be like that way. And at the top, I'll just wanted to write the groups. And I want to include some groups and like run in the way I want. So I can include what group I want to run upon. And I can also exclude what groups I should not want it to run. So not my group. I just don't want to run. Make sense? Because
Yeah.
not my group is not part of my running suite. Maybe they are
So here basically we are taking the test cases which we want to run and which we don't want to run when we are running a class.
perfect. You got it perfectly. This is the right thing that we are expecting to from our framework to like understand.
Okay.
So you can see like only one and two, like two only run and not by a group is not running now. If I exclude this, and if I include this, and if I run it again,
Yeah.
you can see like the other one will run, but
Mm.
test 1 and 11 will not run.
Okay.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Also, it will help you, like when I'll let you know about the commands or terminal run of Maven project. We'll use MVN clean test to run all test cases. Okay. And likewise, you can even type in here, just like, like in going to the command prompt and asking like MVN clean tests. So it will run everything. If I try to run D groups, so I can specify over here that I want only no my group should run. Okay. So this is my command. This would be my command. So what I'll do into this, I will take the copy of this command and take it to my Jenkins server. I will add a job and I'll schedule it for every day morning 9 hours. Okay, AM. And this is tend to run my this command every day. So Jenkins server will do what? It will run every like test every day and give you the reports.
So our ad shop scheduled for every day
Make
morning.
sense? Right now, we don't
Okay.
know anything about Jenkins, but surely we'll install it in our machine. And I will let
Okay.
you understand how the jobs can be scheduled on like Jenkins server so that you can run your
Okay.
regression suite in like, scheduled manner so that your automated
Okay.
alerts could be happen.
Okay. Fine.
Okay. So there are too many discussions we did today, and into this project, we now are very well aware of like using groups and creating the like good ways to like create the suits.
Yeah.
These suits are like using parallel or thread count or like running with includes or excludes. So this brings us to like next thing out there, and now we will learn about. Uh, we even have TestNG listeners. Okay, what is TestNG listener? What exactly it is? They are going to listen the various activities which is happening during the test execution of or automation test or automation suite. So whenever anything happens, TestNG listener starts to listen the things, whatever things you wanted to like work upon. They are different like varieties of listeners that do their jobs. So we had this, and TestNG listeners will find it up over here. There are too many TestNG listeners, and I annotation transformer is again a new test listener. Annotation transformer, hookable, invoke method listener. Whenever the method is invoked, method interceptor, if you want to intercept something, if you want to add something more like override anything, I reporter, suit listener, and the test listener. The must know listeners are I report listener and I test listener, which I am going to cover. But if at any point of time you wanted to look at I annotation or whatever it is, you can go directly to the docs of it. So control and like just click that, another tab will open and you will be able to understand what it is actually doing. So it allows you to override
Okay.
and possibly skip the invocation or test methods. Okay. So
Okay.
there is a lot of things happening into this. So let's come back and create our own listener, because right now we don't have any listeners to this. And now if I right click and reload this all from the disk, you can see that as all things are placed in the place, but here we don't have anything into this place. So I will go back to the run and see like edit configurations. And into this place, you can see like my first root listener is into this place. I come back to my listeners and I'll hit this and I'll say use default reporters, which makes sense. Like now we are expecting iReporter, the default one should come up and take a place. So I use default reporters and say apply, and coming back to OK. If I run the test suit again, like let's suppose like I wanted to run the first suit. If I run it, and if everything goes well, nothing disturbs, everything goes well. Now you will be able to reload the disk again, and obviously there is no you are going to get a test output like per folder over here. And into that report, like you will get all the things which are related to your test run. So you can go right click and open the thing in browser. And I'm searching the browser where it is. Open with, come on man. So I'll just go and open in like Explorer. Oh yeah, we got the browser over here. So Chrome. So here we go. We got all the tests, the two groups which are working over there. Not my group. And first, everything runs well. Reporter output or like test, how many tests you ran. So my first suit test ran. And if you want to see the chronological view, which took like a simple test 4, 2, 5, and 3, and how many milliseconds it took, you would be able to get that. So everything you can see over here. All fine. So this was the default reporter that you had added. So I'll write again over here, add default REST-ng reporting. Okay, now you know about it. You have to directly go to run and the edit configuration, and then finally it is recording. Yeah. So add it, and you had a listeners. You checked this box, so it was started to learn about like reporters. Next thing is like let's close this, and I'm gonna go back to my SARC, and in my test where the com.example.test are written, I wanted to add one more thing into this place. So I'll just say right click and add a new package over here, and this time it is not test. This time it should be listeners. Okay, so into this listeners, I'm going to add my first listener, which is going to have a name of my test listener. All makes sense. So whenever you are going to add a listener, you can implement the interface with it. So when we extend a class, we used to write the extends. And when we are implementing an interface, you can write implements. And now you can say like, I test listener. So let's add this. So now we have to add the methods which are already there in iTest listener, because as you can see, we'll control and click on this. You can see that there are too many like methods already defined into this, and they are taking the iTest result as a parameter. To make this thing more clear, let's close this and come back to this place, and I'll just say at the rate, and you can say, see like we got overridden implement methods. I'll click this, and I will use everything which is possible in iTest listener. I will leave Java Lang object because I don't need it for now. So I'll say okay. So when I'll do this, you can see like every methods that are available in the interface are already created. So now this makes more sense, like this test listener will listen when the test starts, or when the test got success, or if the test fails, or if the test is skipped, or on test failed but within success percentage, or whatever it is, or test fail with timeout, or on start, and finally on finish. So whatever jobs you wanted to do in these events, you can run upon. So for sake of simplicity, what I'm trying to do is like I'll remove every south from here, this one, and like will not use like move this one. I'll go like remove this and this and this, and finally this. So now we don't have much things to like look up on. So I'll come back to my listeners, and at this point of time, I want to route something like this from the result. I want to take something, so I'll like take result dot get method name. It does mean like we wanted to get the name of our test case. So in this sense, let's suppose this is the method name. So I wanted to get the test name for this. Okay. So I'll just say like this method started at. Then I wanted to say result dot get start millis. Milli stands for milliseconds.
Milliseconds.
So I'll run like that. So you can even have a, like, conclusions like how much time they have run, they ran or not ran. So at this point of time, result don't know anything more into this. So many things are right now blank because end millis are not available for now. Or like if like result dot is success is also not possible to understand when the test is started already. Is success will not return anything. Okay, but this I test result will give you everything which is possible with regards to test. But you can see over here, there are too many other functions also which cannot be used, which should not be used on non-test charts. Because at this point of time, we can see this success is not working because it will not give you anything. You can't rely on it. Okay. So, but result contains everything which are there and exposed to this iTest listener and that you can take a work upon. Of course, we can take a test name also and the methods in the methods name also. You can also write the parameters that have used into this also. Can you see we have got the get parameters also. So if in this case, let's suppose in our suit, in our simple test, there were some parameters into this place. Let's take a look on this thing also. Let's suppose we had a test, okay? And that test is taking some optional like parameters, and parameters was like one is X, or let's suppose the first one is like first and the second was second. Okay, and this test is going to take the two parameters. So I just wrote a public void my parameter test method, and I'm going to use over here, let's suppose string first and string second. Okay, so now I wanted to assert if thing is running or not. So I wrote just over here south, and I'll write it as this way. I like string dot format and then first name, and then I'm going to print the last name. So for first person s, I wanted to print the first, and for the second n person s, I wanted to write second. Makes sense. But now the question is like when we are going to run this test, who is going to supply the values into this? For this time, we can understand like this first is belonging to this first, and this second is belonging to this. But at this point of time, we don't know about like who's going to pass value into this. So we'll take the help of our my first suit XML, and I'll come back to this place. I'll right now I'm removing this for simplicity, or like we can uncheck this and come back to this place, and I'll write the parameter. So parameter, the first name is first, and the value should be example Rohit. The next parameter that I wanted to use is second, and the value should be Sharma. Now it makes sense. So now we had a parameter and this thing also. So if at any point in time there is nothing which is into this, we can make the parameters optional also. So you can write the optional parameter if like when you are running this and you didn't wrote thing from like you just right clicked it and you wanted to run this case. So this is an optional parameter. So if it is for optional, you can check it from other ways also. So we'll write it like that. Okay. Let's come back to my first suit.xml. As you can see, we had these two things and the simple test on run. I'm going to right click to this place and say run my suit.xml. So now, as we are expecting the Rohit Sharma should print, and now we got the Rohit Sharma also. Okay, so this makes to a point like whenever we add parameters into our test, we assign the names of the parameter with the values, second values, they can be easily consumed on our simple test. We can write parameters to annotation at the top with some values out there also. So we had first and the second as well.
So is it like a data conditioning thing?
Yeah. So when like we discussed about data, okay, data passing. Data passing. Lastly, we discussed in data passing about data providers.
Data provider, yeah.
Okay, so they were actually providing the data, and the second one is like passing the data through test.ng XML file that we just read.
Okay.
So these are the two possible good ways to get the data input. Or else there are some other ways also. If you have some other like XML file or CSV file or somewhere other files available in your project, then we have to write the functions and functionality to consume the Excel or CSV files. But as a native to the TestNG, we have these two possible ways through which we can get the data.
Okay.
So now we have these parameters, and if you want, you can get all the parameters in our my test listeners also. And for that, you had to use the get parameters, which is at this place. So you will get all parameters as an object and then iterate through these, and like you can say like these parameters are there. Just to make you understand, I'll just say like result dot get parameters dot for each, or let's suppose dot for. So for each object parameter, and before to this I'll write if result dot get parameters is not equals to null. Okay, I'll check first. If it is not null, then only I'll like wanted to go for this. And then I'll write south parameter dot will use total to string over here. Okay. So now you can see like I can get the parameters also when we are starting with it. Okay. So this makes some sense. And on this start, we are writing like something is started. If something got success, if at this point of time you wanted to say, we can write south result dot is success or not, or like get test name, or like you can even write like get method dot get method name past test. Exactly. Similar way you can write for the like test fields and other one also. So for let to understand, I'll also add a one test field also into this. So I'll write like result dot get method name dot get method name is field. Obviously, when you are doing this, like you wanted to notify something, or you wanted to create your own like different kind of report when you want to send emails or like send messages to people, or like adding some updating your database or whatever you wanted to do upon, my listener will do the good job into this. So let's use this like test listener parameter like class. I'll copy this and I'll come back to my simple soup. And at the top of this, after this test, before this test, I write to a listener. And into this listener, I'm going to add a new listener. And my listener is placed in form dot example dot listeners dot my test listener. So now with this, like listener can be able to understand, like he has to listen this test cases. Alternative, we can also be like this way, like you can write at the top of this place. You can come to this place and you can write over here the tag of the listeners, when you can provide like listener dots like your class of this place. So you could be writing the com dot example dot listeners dot my listener. Okay, I'm writing as this one, don't worry. So we can even write that way also. So we already had did this thing in this place, so now it should run. So with the help of this, I'm going to right click this, and I'm understanding like if this thing runs well, going to get this as a like started at in this place. Okay, and whenever it gets finished, we also need something to happen. So when the test is finished, on finish, I'll say it's a test on finish. So when they pass or like they fail, I'll write it. So passed and then I say result dot get end release. This is a ITest context. Context contains everything which is into this. So context can contain all the test cases that are passed. So you can get everything which is skipped test cases, total possible test cases are that are skipped or passed or failed. Okay. You can even get the suits and we can even get all the test methods. Then you can, like iterate and create your own report also. So for now, we'll not use it. Let's come back to first test case listener, and then now you can see like we have a couple of things like streamlined with this. We are trying to listen all jobs, all activities which are pertaining to this like test cases. So let's run like right click it and run it with the help of my first suit.xml. Obviously, the result is showing that they have started and given us the milliseconds. Not understandable, I know, because whenever we are running this, we are getting this much. So to make it more simpler, we'll write like we'll cut this thing out and write this divided by 1000. Okay, and then I'll write seconds. Let's copy this much and pass at and we'll place it over here. And we'll write get end milliseconds. Makes sense.
So here we are mainly using it to calculate the time,
Yeah,
like how
we
much
were getting the
time.
milliseconds, Navya, and now we are trying to get
Yeah.
something like that. So milliseconds to seconds, and maybe like I'm low in math, but still I'm trying to. So let's run it.
So what is the main purpose of listeners? Like what like
Main
in our
purpose of
projects
listener is,
commonly why we yeah.
yeah, main purpose of listener is to listen the various events and activities at that time. Okay, so let's suppose like if the test case starts, if this test case starts, okay, so before it gets started, you want to do so many things out there. For example, like when the test case starts, when the test case starts and the test name is like a simple test, okay, you had to
Mm.
do a like little thing before that. You wanted to say update table, set like update table. You wanted to update a table, or let's say delete from table. Okay, delete from table where test name equals to a simple test. Okay, so this is a query that you wanted to push to your database so that everything before you had should be clear from your table. Okay, so let's suppose you want to do this task. So before running this task, you wanted to say like when the test starts, at that point of time you want to do something, because after that when it will get finished or something else, you wanted to run again some other query. You wanted to say update table set total duration is the time when it ran. It should be, let's say, 1 second. So you said like that way. And let's suppose you wanted to say where test name is a simple test. So these are a couple of things that you can write up, add on, like whenever the test starts, before the test starts, or before the test ends, you want this test listener to do a job. Whenever any test case starts, whenever any test case fails or pass, or like gets skipped, or like on start or a finish. One good example for this is like suppose it is an instance. I will give you an activity. If you can complete, would be a good idea for me also. So in this activity, you can say like create a listener and like test listener. Okay, just create a test listener, and with help of this test listener, a mail report. Okay, mail report is such a way that we can send to the peoples. Okay, so there are too many
Yeah.
test cases which are going to run. So for each test cases there
Mm.
should be a different name, different suit name, different like different kind of things are there into. So no test cases are different. So here you can see like when you are running this test case, we got the test result dot get method dot name. We even had a result dot instance also, and we even can have so many things rather than that also. So you can make a defined, like fully flown name you can write upon, and you can update your database. You can create. Do you know anything about database, Navya? MySQL or SQL Server or Oracle? Anything?
Oracle. Yeah, Oracle I
Yeah.
know.
So you can write such kind of queries. I think yeah, you are familiar with.
Yeah, delete from table, yeah,
So
update and
now can
I'm
is there
sure.
like you also have like known of like how to create like connections into the Oracle database using Java?
No, that I don't know. The JDBC
No problem. You can
connections
find it
I
anyway
don't know.
onto this. It would be a Oracle DB Java connection example. So Java T point is a good idea to go with. I believe this is the only thing you need to go for. So you can write like class for name and connection. You can create the get the connections with this, and you can write your statements. Result is XMT or whatever it is. So select star from employee, select star from employee, where the thing goes wrong, whatever it is. So now you can create the things also like this way. If you want, I would be really happy if you can create the connection and write the class for this. Okay, now is
So I
like
need to download it Oracle DB here, right?
DB is almost required whenever like we do a lot of things into. Let's suppose you are running your test case like automation suite, and at some few point of time there is a requirement that you want to add the test data, the test execution details when your test execution stops after running. Then at that point of time, you want to add a couple of data into your things. Example, yeah. So let's take an example. Like on the day of 1st June, when you ran, like 10 test cases were passed and 2 test cases were failed and 2 were skipped. Okay. When you ran on 2nd Jan, okay, 2nd June, then you had 8 test cases passed and 4 test cases failed and then 2 test cases skipped. So likewise, you had so many things out there in your database, you can add it upon, right? We can do this because
Yeah.
at the point of time we are going to look upon the context in this place. When the thing finish, you can see context dot get past test cases dot size. So size will help you in getting the numbers of all test cases which are passed. And now you want to add this past number. Maybe this is giving you this is giving you a number of, let's say 9 test cases are passed. Okay, so it will give you 9. So now you want to add this 9 into your database for June 10th. Okay, so every day you are running a test case and you can ascertain like this is running fine. So if you have this much of the data, with the help of this data, you can analyze like what is happening in your automation suite, right? You can create the graphs for this. You can create like your beautiful report for like monthly reports for this, and you can ascertain your guys like, yeah, when I run on the 1st June till 31st June or 30 June, like you got this test cases fault every day or this test was passed every day. This is not my concern. It is coming in the monthly report. So we need at that point of time, like every time the test execution finish, you want things to be get, added into your database for a suitable reasons, so that you can create your monthly report with the help of that data. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is what we can do upon. So now I'm like ending up with today because I will want your screen to be get shared and understand everything that we have discussed earlier. But yeah, we know about this test listeners. And one more thing I wanted to learn, like let you learn about it is like I'll right click this and I'll create a one more class over here. And we are going to now create a my report listener. Okay. So give me a chance first. Okay, here we got our listener, report listener. I'm going to implement it with iReporter that we have seen into our test NG words. Now to implement, I'll just say at the rate and override. You can see there is only 2 methods which are available. Okay, so you can get the config and you can get the override. Okay, so let's say both of them, no problems. So now we have this. Okay, so in this concern, you can see like you are getting the suite of all XML and you're even getting the source of it and the output directory as well. Okay, so here like we have all suits available, which makes sense because like when we are running all suits with the my all suits line, there can be a multiple suits running upon. So that is the reason they gave in like my report listener the suit. Navi, I think like we'll stop this thing for now because I think there is a lot code into this. So we'll conclude it from Monday. And now I want your screen to be shared and like get start with some few topics, or we can have a discussion upon. Or if you want, like I can conclude with this thing also.
No, but I'm like, there is too much information today, maybe.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
let's discuss
like,
about what we like learned today. And first of all, first thing first, like we learned about the data provider as well before, and we know about its usage also. Data provider is much
mm,
required. So it is an interview hot question affair. So you have to learn about
mm,
these two things very well, because when it comes to data provider, we are providing the data. But when it comes to like
yeah,
passing the data through examiner, it is required whenever you want, you want to pass like which Chrome, do you want to like use which version, like what driver should be used. Okay, so let's take an instance in this place when people wanted to like understand, like if you want to run the driver version, so you can add like the name equals to like browser type. Okay,
mm,
and now here you can write Chrome. So now you can like learn about this now, like browser type is Chrome and you can use that Chrome for that. Okay. So whenever you want to write a test case for this, you can take the browser type from this place and write back to your test case and write the parameter. And now you can say over here that you are concerning about the browser type and public void uh, or whatever it is. And here we can say like string browser type. And here we can say like switch on based of browser type. And now you can go with it. Like case is whatever. If it is Chrome, you want to instantiate a Chrome driver. Okay. So now you got a driver over here, like string driver. I'll just say string or like a web driver or driver, and that is null. And if it is a Chrome, then you can say driver equals to new Chrome driver. Okay. If it is not Chrome, we can take another case. And if it is Firefox, if we wrote a Firefox over there, we can see over here like sorry, driver equals to new Firefox driver. Okay, right now we don't have anything into this, like in our form example, so it
mm,
is giving us an error. But it makes some sense, like whenever you are trying to put a driver and you have some specific test cases which you wanted actually to run on IE Explorer, okay, they will only run on that. Okay, so now you can
yeah,
take a look upon it and you can check it over here and you can tell, yeah, the case is like my IE Explorer, I will run them like this way. So driver should be equals to new like that, IE Explorer. Okay. So this makes sense. And now we can instantiate or do the things that we wanted with the help of this browser type. So these are the parameters which help us in like test ng XML. There are too many settings that you wanted to go with the test and you wanted to consume it. You can even consume it in many places, not in the test. You can use it in so many annotations that you want, but not in the non-test type of functions. If they contains with before, after, or like classes or test classes, you can use them. Second is like we today wrote the test based class, and in this test based class, what we did is like when we created this, we had a like a test and we had a test base. We wrote some special things out there which are there into our testng like tool, and we know like now there are too many things that we have added already, but we can also have so many things into this. So we have add function, and that add function is now available in test space. So subsequently, when like we created a complex test space and we inherited this class, we extended this class with the test space. So it was actually available because this test space already have this function. So there was no need to write two times in this one in complex test or simple test. So we need not to write about the add function over here because it was already available in generalized way in the test class. So test space already have this class. To make it more understandable, I'm going to write one more thing into the like core area, and I'm going to say right click, add a new class, and I'm going to call it as example I web driver. Okay, uh, like empty driver. Okay, I'm going to call it as empty driver, and I'm going to create a interface for this. Okay, and interface is like something which gives template way of like creating the types. Okay, it's in my own sense, so it's my like this one interface. So I'm going to write over here void like setup driver, and now we have void get driver. Okay. And then we had void quit driver. Okay, we had three things in our hand to this. So get driver is easy go, setup driver if you wanted to like push the driver into this, so I'll add the driver. So at the driver we had this. Okay, all makes sense. Now with the help of this I interface, you wanted to get more things into. So first of all, you created a class which is known as Chrome driver. So now you implemented this class with the empty driver. Empty driver. It should not be empty driver. It should be driver or empty driver would be a good code. Press and alt and enter and implement the methods. Every methods can be implemented in this way. So now you can easily, create, set up the driver, get the driver, and quit the driver. Would be a good way. So if this is something wrong, and now you can see like come up to this place and void get driver should give us the web driver. So now you can see we had a problem over here because here it is not conforming to our interface. So it should be like that. Now everything is working as expected. Now at the other point of time, if you know what, like say we have initiated already the Chrome driver, give me a way, we'll return the null over here because we don't have any driver for now. So I'll just return that. So at other point of time, now you wanted to add a new Firefox driver. So you said Firefox driver and hit that and implements the empty driver interface. Okay. So now you can implement it. Yeah, we go. And now we have everything in place. So now at this point of time where you're going to set up the Chrome driver, you can easily say like this driver needs to be get set up. Okay. So this is the use of interface where you can understand like if it is a Chrome driver or a Firefox driver or a IE Explorer or whatever, they all belongs to having a same all board. So you can also say like I want to create a new driver. Next thing is example. Let's take another one. Let's suppose we had a class, my class. Okay. And into that class, you wanted to have so many functions. So we created an abstract classes. In abstract classes, we had a function public abstract void get name. Okay, simple function get name. We didn't have anything in this. Okay, so you can even see like I didn't wrote also this one. It is not like a thing which I created earlier. So we had this way. What is happening here? He's telling me like abstract methods cannot have a body. So I shouldn't do like this. It should have only the definition. Okay, also so you can add as much as you want. So this is function, this they can be public again a property. So public string name also for the person if it is like possible, you can even add like that way. Now comes the second class. So this class is a kid class. Okay, this is a kid class, and this class is going to extend itself with like my class. Now into this concern, it is giving me a red right now. So he's telling me like you should implement the abstract methods which are there in the my class because they don't have any definitions. So surely you are going to have a kid class and now you have to implement the methods. So when you will do this, you will get the method and you can have the override of it. Okay. In this sense, you have a name like variable also which is available. You can write like whatever you want. Okay, so this makes sense. So what we are doing into this, so this kid class, which is actually extending the functionality of my class, and it should be having something which is generalized code. Okay. So to make it more understandable, I'll just say one simple line to you, like I will say all cars are automobile. Okay, all cars are automobiles, but all automobiles are not car. They can be motorcycles, they can be truck, there can be bus. So, but all cars are automobiles, but all automobiles are not cars. So what does that mean? So this automobile is a bigger class. It sits on the top of everything. And into that, there are too many things out there. There can be car, there can be motorcycles, there can be other ways, let's say trucks, etc. And for each car, there can be two-seater car, there can be four-seater car. Okay, so Even in here, there are two differences. They can be petrol cars, they can be diesel cars, and finally we have like a Toyota or I-20 or whatever it is. So this brings us to the like specialized classes. So we can say this is a specialized functionality, which is actually not available in this car functionality. So for sake of this, I'll remove this. So we can say this is generalized cars containing core of what car should have. Okay, and this is specialized functionality of what I-20 should be. I think like this makes sense, Navya. Hello?
Yeah, Rohit.
Yeah. Do this
No,
make
I'm
sense?
just little scared now. There's too much, or like I'm feeling it. Like, how
Is
can I
it
do it?
okay? So don't take like don't be stressed. If it is too much, we'll again like revise it for next session also. And
Yeah, because I need to see all the recording again
yeah,
today
so I did a
because
stop recording for now.
there's so many tests.